Okay, I've got the clock ready. So
Okay.
who's going to start us?
I started last week.
Okay, it's gonna be me.
Pablo's like, okay, it's going to be me. What do I say? What am I going to say?
No, let's say good. Okay, good morning, guys. Merry
Good morning,
Christmas.
Pablo. Merry day.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, Feliz Navidad en español.
Sí. Sí.
Boxing Day in UK.
I was going to say,
So-
Merry Boxing Day.
Merry Boxing Day.
Merry
Pablo
Boxing
says-
Day.
No, I just saw
Pablo
that
says that
title
it is Boxing Day. So is that an international holiday?
no, it's just only in England.
So
Yes, it's an international holiday in England.
Okay, amigos, buenos días. ¿Cómo están? How are you?
Muy bien. Very good. Doing great.
Mucho bueno. Mucho bueno.
You always feel good after Christmas. You know, you always feel good
Wow.
after Christmas. Before Christmas, not so much. I've been sick.
Wow.
I've had a head cold. So it is what it is.
You sound a little congested.
I get sick before everything, Keith. That's no joke. This year I got sick before my wedding. I got very sick, violently sick with head cold. I mean, it was awful. And then before Thanksgiving got sick, which was before the Peru trip. So technically there's two, and then got sick before Christmas. So I really don't. I think it's because I'm married to a teacher. I'm going to find a way to blame Miranda for this. I think it's because I'm married to a public educator.
And are you not studying to become a public educator yourself?
I am, but this is really helping me out because it's really building my immune system.
Building your immune system. There you go.
Exactly
There
right.
you go.
Exactly right. How are you today, Keith?
So come to
That's
Peru
a
more.
great
Come to
theory.
Peru more often.
Come to Peru more often. That's true. Stan got Keith got sick.
Your
Everybody
immune system will be accurate.
your immune system will be perfect. You will never be sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, after all of that, we do want to welcome you to the program and thank you very much for listening. And as
Thanks
you
for
may have
choosing
guessed,
Let's Talk About Christianity.
it is the
You're
day
feeling
after
better, kid.
Christmas. So we're a little off schedule this week, but we've been off schedule for the whole month of December. I don't know why today would be any different.
This is true.
So it is what it is. But so let's see, Pablo, there's nothing new going on with you.
Day-to-day work, home, family, debts, and
That's what I mean. Yeah. Nothing new going on with you. It's
I
all the
wake
same.
up in the morning, I go to work, I come home, I spend time with family, I go to sleep, wake up, do it again.
Poor Pablo. Pablo.
Pablo.
yeah, actually, all my you see the white space, nothing to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's already colored.
He's taking a vacation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's taking a vacation. So, Pablo, how much longer do you have with your internship?
April.
Yes,
Getting close. April. Yeah, but I like it.
And then you'll have to find a real job?
No, actually, I'm making contacts at the hospital, no?
They just start there.
Making contacts. Oh,
man. He's making relationships.
Yes.
So where is this hospital in relation to where you live?
In relation? I mean, close, you mean?
How far?
See.
1 hour by bus. It's a big hospital. It has 15 floors. Yes. Big hospital.
I've seen pictures. I've seen pictures of Pablo in his white coat. He looks pretty professional. He does.
Can you show us your psychologist look again?
What's your
when there's
psychologist?
a message come, I shouldn't. No, it's like coming. No, sit down. Take a sip.
You gotta look all serious.
No, but actually, to finish this is it's not. I'll be in April. It's not like I'm gonna look for a job. No, it's not like that. So I still have to work for someone else because I need to get a license to work by myself. No, it's like a code. Yes, in that takes time, papers to do it.
Okay.
So that's it.
Awesome. So, Keith, what's going on over in
there is a plan. It's just
Missouri?
Hot. It's hot.
It is hot.
It's
weirdly hot.
It was
supposed to get cold again next week.
It's really hot.
When I got up this morning, it was 58 degrees. Like when I got out of bed, it was 58 degrees. So, this is very atypical for this time of the year, but it is what it is. Otherwise, we've just got, well, actually, come to think about it, my calendar looks very much like Pablo's for the next week. There's not a lot going on in the next week, but we've had plenty
breaks
that was going on. We need a little break, but anyway. So, what, Zach? You had an idea to discuss today, I believe.
I mean, it's just something we could talk about. It's New Year's. I mean, New Year's is right around the corner. It's not just a new year though; it's a new decade. And every year, what do we make around New Year's? Resolution.
Oh, I was thinking hot chocolate, but.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess you could make that too. But resolutions is usually what we make, and rarely do those resolutions last. But I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, we did a little bit on. I think we did a resolution episode.
We did.
I thought we did. I couldn't remember, but we could talk about some resolutions that we could make in the new decade. So
well. Decade-long resolutions. If you're going to make a resolution to last a decade, you are really talking about something that is life-changing.
Exactly right.
You're not just changing a habit; you're changing an entire lifestyle. And here's the thing about it is that there are some things about lifestyles that we would really like to change. It is it's kind of crazy to think that we might actually look at our lives the way that they are right now and think that everything is perfect and I'm perfect and there isn't anything that I need to change. But why don't we change?
We don't like change.
We don't like change. And see, these are questions for Pablo, actually. Pablo, why don't we like change? I want to hear this answer. This is going to be deep.
Why don't we change? Because there are two hardest things in a man to do. To put effort on something.
Okay, we got to put effort. We don't like putting effort.
Or second, take responsibilities of your actions. No, that's why we don't change.
Taking responsibilities of your actions. That's a good one too.
Now, see, the one that I was going to go with could actually kind of overlap either of those two. But I was going to say we're afraid. We're afraid to change, and we may know that things are not perfect the way that they are, but we're afraid of what that change may bring.
That's true. That's very deep, Keith. That's true. Mm-hmm. I think to an extent too, when you're talking about change, I think a lot of people look at it from the perspective of it's easier to stay the same than to change. And a lot of times we would rather just stay the same, keep doing what we're doing, live the life that we're living, instead of trying to change that life, even if it is for the better. And the reason that we're not willing to change that life, even if it is for the better, is because we're comfortable in the old life. We are comfortable with the way that things are. And we're humans. We're creatures of comfortability, I guess. We like to be comfortable. We like for things to stay the same. We don't like change. But if you're talking about change, I think one of the biggest things is fear of what will happen when you change, like you said, Keith, and also
also
the comfort aspect.
With that fear, we have to keep in mind that even though things may not be perfect the way that they are, I still feel like I have some control. And,
right.
We like having control. And, and it kind of goes back to all of these things that you guys have mentioned. If we are going to change, whether it is a habit or whether it is a lifestyle, we're afraid of losing control of
right.
maybe something that we feel like we have control over.
Right. And a lot of people will talk about how in depth you have to go to change, but I think one of the easiest things that you can do to be able to change, and if we're talking about change in the new decade, I think one of the easiest things you can do is be a person who can form habits. Because you can take simple things in your life, you can take simple goals in your life that you can do every single day that are very achievable, and if they become habits, then they're going to become lifestyle, and if they become lifestyle, they're going to change your lifestyle. And I think there are some simple things that we can do in our life that can change the way that we look at life, and maybe even change the direction of our life. But I think a lot of times people overlook the simple things for the complex things. And changing your life in the new decade is definitely it's more of a lifestyle change. I mean, you have to completely revamp your lifestyle and change it, but there are simple things that can help you revamp your lifestyle and change it.
Well, and I think Pablo would agree with this also, but if you recognize or identify things in your life that need to be changed, whether they are on the level of habits or whether they are on the level of lifestyles, if you try to change those things all at once, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
And if you look at your spiritual life and you set some goals for your spiritual life, and I'm just making stuff up here, but let's say that you've never taught a Bible class before, and you say, you know what, I think I need to step up my game. I think I need to take more responsibility within the church. I think that I need to be making a greater impact, and I want to teach a Bible class. And if you are planning to start next Wednesday, which would be January 1, 2020,
right.
It's probably not going to end well. I'm just saying, you're probably going to want to take some of those small steps, some of those small changes, such as Zach is describing, and and it may be something as simple as deciding I'm going to become more studious. Nobody likes to study.
No.
I've got to tell you, there are some commercials on TV that I like, some that I find extremely annoying. I'm just going to tell you, the Mucinex commercials I find annoying. That's just me. But it's like the little green germ guy wandering around trying to contaminate everybody. He's not really making me want to go out and buy the product. But
they kind of remind me of those. Remember those foot fungus commercials where the little people were under the toenails and they were wreaking havoc with under the toenail and stuff like that. I think it was for like Lotrum or something like that, the foot cream. But that kind of reminds me of that. But I've been doing a series about this here in Paintsville, the New Decade resolutions. But one of the things I said last week was in the new decade, I want to eat more. And a lot of people eat more. And, you know, a lot of people were like, well, what in the world is he talking about? But I'm talking about eating more things spiritual, less things worldly. And a lot of times, you know, our appetites are not good. Our diets are not good. And we're talking about, you know, I'm talking about eating healthier as a Christian instead of eating those bad foods that we tend to eat as Christians. And, you know, if you can change your diet, you can change your lifestyle. And if you can change your lifestyle, then there's no tell the progress that you can make in your life. And one of the biggest things with changing your diet is one, you have to have a desire. And change is full of purpose. You have to have a purpose within you to want to change. You have to have a desire to change, because if you don't, you're not going to. And if you really want to make a meaningful difference in your life, whether it's to change your life or whether it's to change a small thing in your life, you have to have purpose. You have to have a purpose as to why you want to change it and what's going to be the outcome once you change it. And one of the things that I said too, Keith, and I think that you would definitely agree with this, if we're going to grow in the new year, our growth it's not a short-term mindset, it's a long-term process. But also, if we're going to grow in the new year, we have to be intentional about our growth. And I think a lot of times in our faith, we're not as intentional about things as we need to be. Sometimes we let things happen by chance. Sometimes things happen, we say, by accident, so on and so forth. But we've got to be intentional about our faith, and we've got to let our purposes in this life and us wanting to be intentional about our growth and so on and so forth continue to help us grow as a Christian.
Well, let me make one point relative to that, and then I want to get back to the Mucinex point.
I thought you said it bugged you.
If everybody still remembers that after Zach's little rant there, but
you're welcome. Merry Christmas.
Think of it this way. If you approached your vocation, your job, your career, the same way that you approach your spirituality, where would you be working today?
That's a good point. It's a real good point.
And I'll just let you think of that. But anyway, back to the Mucinex. They did a commercial here recently.
My bad.
They did a commercial here recently where, you know, they're saying, ooh, 12 hours. It lasts for 12 hours. And I guess they're talking to some students or something, you know, in the commercial. And the germ actually says, who studies that long? Or something like that. And
right.
And I'm sitting here. I think that's the approach that we take to our Christianity sometimes.
Oh, it is.
And Zach, I don't think you probably use these words, but you know, going back to your whole diet thing and everything, yeah, maybe sometimes we like being honey bun Christians.
We do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do, Keith.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I got to step away for just a second. I'll be right back.
How many minutes we got left? Okay, see you, bye.
What was that?
Anyway,
that was a bike or that was thing?
Right. I think that was a buy. I don't know. Let's talk about honey bun Christians for a second, Pablo. So honey bun Christians, we're talking about those who they'll eat the good foods, but they also like a snack every once in a while of bad foods. Okay, so 1 Peter 2 verses 1 through 3, lay aside all the bad foods, desire the pure milk of the word that you may grow thereby if you have tasted the graciousness of the Lord, right? So if we're going to eat good in the new year, if we're going to change our diet, and if we change our diet, remember, we'll change our lifestyle. If we're going to change our diet in the new year, then what is one thing that we need to do?
Yes, and sometimes one of the things that don't let us change is our zone of comfort, no? Our comfort zone.
Okay.
And we feel good, and it's like kid also say, you know, I don't wanna change because I feel fear, no? I can feel
right.
things like that.
We don't want to change because we don't know where it'll take us.
Yes, and according to your point, to feed our souls with a spiritual food or a healthy food, that will be a big change too, a big, no,
Yep.
because it's an habit. No, my body,
It is.
maybe during the last 10 years was not getting good food, and then.
Right. What's your thoughts about the Honey Bun Christian, Keith?
Is that what we're talking about? I'm
were.
sorry for having
Yeah,
there was somebody at the door and I had to go talk to them. The Honey Bun Christian, I over the past 2-3 years, somewhere in there, I have changed the way that I have eaten physically, and now it's like so frustrating at Christmas time because there's like all these sweets around. And I don't even want them anymore,
Right.
But it didn't just happen. And I think that some people are. I know I was surprised at the change in the desire for certain foods that I had, but I think that some people they're afraid of letting go of the honey buns.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They're and I don't know. The honey bun's a comfort food. It's it's quick, it's easy, but it's also something. And this is totally different discussion, but it's also something that some people take pride in.
Mm.
I love my honey buns, but
yeah,
have you ever read the nutritional information on a honey bun?
I actually haven't.
Don't do
Not
it.
Good. Not good.
Don't do it. You really don't want to know what's in there. Yeah, just eat it. Don't worry about what's in it. But
there's been this chart on Facebook recently, and I'd say that you've seen it, Keith. It's the donuts compared to the soft drinks that you're drinking. So apparently, one bottle of Coke is equivalent of 5.5 or 6 donuts. And one of the biggest things that people are taking away from it is, hey, donuts are healthier than I thought they were. Like donuts are pretty healthy. If they're the equivalent of 6 donuts for one bottle of Coke, then they must not be as bad as we thought they were in the first place. But I think that's sometimes how we look at, the bad foods that we eat as Christians. I don't really think they're as bad as everybody thinks that they are. I really don't think they're really that bad. I think they just get a bad rap. But at the end of the day, he says, lay aside all deceit, all malice, all anger, wrath, jealousy, all of those things. And we look at those things and sometimes you're like, well, I'm human. It's really not that bad. It's not going to lead to other things. But you would be surprised at the things that it will, the ways, the different directions that you will go in your life if you keep eating those bad foods instead of cutting them out and only eating the healthy foods. But man, eating healthy foods and no bad foods is probably it's one of the hardest things that people can do, because like you, Keith, I remember when you first started that diet, you haven't had ice cream in how long?
No, I actually, no, I have not had a Frosty in well over 2 years.
Yeah, and Keith loves Frosty. If you knew Keith before, big Frosty eater.
But I did eat one of the Sublime ice cream bars.
Okay. So that's the only one you've had in 2 years, though?
Oh, no. But I mean, it just, you could probably, as far as, like ice cream, you could probably count on both hands the number of times that I've had ice cream in the past 2 years. But anyway, that's getting way off track. Okay, you have to start you have to start, and it may not be something big, but if you are going to make a change in the new decade, you have to start.
That's true.
And
everybody's got to start somewhere.
It's and it all goes back to desire. You've got to want to make those changes. And as we look at our lives as Christians, we realize that the areas that we could improve in are going to be different for everybody, and the areas that we focus on are going to be different. It may be that something as simple as you saying, I need to be a better student in school.
Right.
I need to be a better husband or a better wife. I need to be a Bible class teacher or a mentor or someone who is giving influence to someone else in a positive way. And you look at those different ideas that you might have in relation to your own life, and you're gonna have to pick a place to start.
See.
Well, and I'll make this point relative to that point, and then I guess we're almost out of time anyway. But I think one of the biggest things that people don't understand is the fact that you have to start somewhere. And a lot of times people say, I'll start. Let me clean my life up a little bit better, and then I'll start. Or let me get to this point in my life, and then I'll start. Or let me do this and this and this, and then I'll start. And we put it off because we really don't want to do it, but we put it off also because we think if we're in a better state of mind, then we're going to be able to do better. But the fact of the matter is, everybody has to start somewhere, and it doesn't matter where you start. Because no matter where you start.
A Bible study with a lady in Chimbote.
Okay.
What it had been a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, whatever. When we were there in Chimbote, but this lady, she was sort of at a milestone in her life, and she was very upset at having reached that milestone age, and in her own words, her own words were in Spanish, but she said, my life's a mess, my children's lives are a mess, and here I am turning this age, and I don't know what to do. She was not a Christian, and so we studied with her, and just randomly, by the way, Danielle is a fantastic translator. If you ever get to use Danielle, he's great.
She's better than you, Pablo.
No, but I made the point to this lady. I said, look, you have the choice right now. You can become a Christian now. But her thing was, she wanted to clean up her life before she became a Christian. And I said, you can become a Christian now, and a year from now, you can look back on this year possibly with the great joy of knowing that you are safe in Christ.
Right.
I said, or you can spend this next year working on cleaning up your life, and a year from now, more than likely, you're going to look back and you're going to say, where did that year go?
Yeah.
And I made the point to her, if you want to clean up your life before you become a Christian, you have to start. And I don't,
Well, you think about it like this too. If you're one of those people who say, "Let me get in a better position. Let me clean my life up."
Doorbell's ringing again.
The fact of the matter will be, we probably got to close in.
We're out of time. Yeah, wrap it up.
Okay. I'm just going to finish by saying this. The fact of the matter is, you will never clean your life up if you're still in that bad. You will never clean your life up unless you first choose to start somewhere. And if you're going to start somewhere, you might as well start where you are, because you can only go up. Pablo, you got anything to add before we close?
There are challenges on those people, because we as a preachers, it might be I'm not gonna say easy, no. It might be for us to say, oh, you have to change, you have to be new in Christ. But you will say, if we say that to a guy who has 50 years old and most like 40 years old living in the scene, no, or living.
Yeah.
They put a good effort on it. So let's be clear with him or with them too. No, hey, look at this. No, maybe you have all the stuff from the world, all the worldly kind of life, but it's gonna take time. But it's not gonna be also magic, no, or instant for you, no.
Yeah,
that's it.
Good point. All right.
Hey, thank you very much for listening. We appreciate you as our listeners, but we are out of time and we got to wrap this up. And happy Boxing Day. And
International Boxing Day in Britain.
International Boxing Day in Britain.
Boxing Day.
And we will. I don't know if we're done with this discussion or not, but we got to go. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Ciao.